Pranam, welcome back to the FFD channel, Freedom from Diabetes. Today is Wednesday. And I'm just so happy to welcome you all on Wow Wednesday. I am so glad that you have tuned in again to listen to me, hear another story, meditate, and just spread goodness, take the goodness with you and take it throughout the day. So today's story is pretty special. The first time I heard it, I got goosebumps. Second time I heard it, I again got goosebumps. The third time also, I got goosebumps. So this story is not for light-hearted people, okay? The story needs your strength. The story will call for your energy, which will call for your patience. It'll call for a lot of strength from your side. So, are you ready for this very special story and the meditation? Following that, let's get started. All right. So, long time ago, there was this young girl named Parachara. Long time ago, there was this young girl named Parachara. Parachara was beautiful. Parachara was smart. Parachara was very popular. And as it mostly happens in many cases, that beautiful, young, and popular girls are liked by a lot of people. Her parents were beginning to get worried. Just look at this girl. She's, pretty popular among boys. I mean, she's always talking to boys. She's always surrounding by boys, young, older. Men also like her, and they were very worried, just like any other parent would be. I mean, I have kids. If I have my kid is getting a lot of attention from others, young and old, it is a part of me that would feel a little uncomfortable. That is my kid going to be safe among all these people? I know my kid has these qualities, but other people may try to harm my kid because my kid has these qualities. So her parents were also little worried because of her popularity among boys. So they started restricting her. They started restricting her and not letting her go outside. They started restricting her and keeping her within the house. And her family was affluent. So they could provide her with all the material things that she may possibly need. But then Parachara wanted to be popular. Parachara wanted to get liked. And she felt that she had all these qualities. So she definitely must get liked. Now, sitting at home, no one else to interact with, she started interacting with the servants. And she started an affair with one of the servants that she had. Her parents thought that this was now the right time to get married to get her married, because now she was getting older, and before she would get too frustrated about being at home, or before someone else would have an affair with her or whatever, they should just get her married in a good family. When Parachara found out that her parents were planning to get her married, but she was involved with her servant and they didn't know about this. So she decided to just run away with him. Okay, so she braved him up. She encouraged him that, yes, we will run away from home. She packed some jewelry with her and she ran away with the servant. And she ran and she ran and she went to the servant's village that was far away from her house. When she went over there, initially she felt cold. It was outside her house. It was the wall. It was no longer the walls that constricted her, that kept her confined. She was now in the open world around her. There was nothing being reserving her anymore. Nothing stopping her. No one stopping her. Her husband, the servant was now her husband, right? So her husband started farming because this was the only work that he knew apart from being a servant. And in his village, nobody would hire him as a servant. So he started farming. But soon Parachara realized that this life was not so comfortable. Her servant was now no longer acting like a servant. He was acting like a partner. He was acting like an equal. He wanted her to help in the house. He wanted her to take up the role of the wife of a farmer. Soon life became very, very difficult for her because was never prepared for a life like this. She started not liking her life. Her new life was disturbing her. She was upset. She was irritated. In a way, she did not like her husband anymore. She was angry with her husband most of the time. As it happened, soon Parachara got pregnant and her mood changed. She was now hopefully looking forward towards her new role as a mother. She was very excited, quite happy in her life. When she was about to deliver the child, as was the ritual or as was the following of that time, girls went to their parents' house for the delivery. She requested her husband to take her to her parents' house. She felt that if she would go to her parents' house, now that she was pregnant, they would possibly forgive her. If she would go to her parents' house, they would once again welcome her back in the house and they would give her her life of comfort and luxury back. But the husband was reluctant. He was scared. He was afraid that if they would go back, her family would punish them. What if they killed him? What if they did something to the child? He was very worried. So he just said, "No, Parachara, we cannot go back to your parents." And then she was upset about it. But when the day of the delivery kept nearing, she got more and more desperate to go back to her parents. One day, she just told her neighbor, "I am going back to my parents." And then she started walking towards the forest, which had the road that led to her city. As she was walking through the forest, her husband came running behind her and he said, "Okay, fine, we will go. Fine, we'll do things the way you want." But on her way towards her parents' house, she entered labor and she delivered the child in the forest. The husband was happy. They had a son. Parachara was also glad that the baby was now in her hand, but she was upset that she could not go to her parents' house. The husband said that now that the baby was born, there was no need to go to her parents' house anymore. So he convinced her to go back home. They went back home. After 2 years, she was pregnant again. And this time, again, she started feeling that she wanted to go back to her parents' house. Again, she requested her husband. Again, he said, "No going there, all right? We have a nice settled life over here. We have a son. We are about to have another child. So please focus on your life over here." Parachara was upset. As the day of the delivery kept nearing, she got more and more upset. Then one day, she decided to just pack her stuff, take her little 2-year-old, and then started walking towards her parents' house. Once again, the husband found out that she has left the home, so he followed her. He followed her into the forest. He found her. He asked her to come back home, but she said, "No, I'm going to my parents' house. I have made up my mind." So the husband reluctantly gave in and they started walking towards the forest. On her way towards the forest, she started getting labor pangs. And At the same time, there was a huge storm at that time. It started raining and pouring. She asked her husband to make her some sort of a sheltered place. She was under a tree. The husband decided that he should go get her some fruits or some firewood so he could burn some fire. She would be a little comfortable. So he went to get at whatever he could from the forest. But when he was collecting food, berries, or fire stick, at that time a cobra found him. The cobra saw him over there, did not like his presence, and the cobra bit the husband. And the husband died instantly. Parachara was waiting and waiting and waiting. And she delivered the second baby. Once again, she had another boy. But Parachara now was very bitter. She was very angry with her husband. She felt that the husband had abandoned her. She was very angry. She felt that the husband was a coward and he didn't care about her. So she then took her second baby and the first 2-year-old toddler and started walking towards her parents' house. When she was walking towards her parents' house, near the bushes, she found that her husband's dead body was laying over there. She tried to wake him up, but then realized that he was dead. He was not sleeping, he was dead. She was shocked. She began crying and crying and crying. She didn't want to lose him. He was the father of her 2 children. He had done his best, she realized. She realized that he had always done what she wanted. She realized that he took risks because she wanted him to take risks. She could now only remember his good qualities and missed him and cried and cried. After she does not know how many hours, she felt that she had to move on. So then she left him over there, crying and then wiping her tears. She got up from the place, picked the 2 little children, and then started walking towards her parents' house. Because it had poured, it had rained a lot the last night. So therefore, the little stream that she had to cross to go to her parents' house had now become a river. It had now turned into a small little river. She realized she could not cross the river with 2 kids. So she decided that she'll take the little baby and cross the river first, place the baby on one side of the river, then go back and get her little toddler, the 2-year-old, and then again cross the river. So this was her plan. And what she did was that she took the baby, crossed the side of the river, and placed the baby on the banks of the other side. And then when she was crossing to get her toddler at that time, an eagle came and picked up her little baby and just flew away. And she was shocked and she started yelling for help, but she was in the middle of the forest and there was no one to help her over there. She cried, she yelled, but the baby was gone. And while she was crying and yelling, her little 2-year-old was scared and he felt he should go to his mother and he started going towards her. But the river had a lot of rushing current. And as that little toddler was trying to go towards the mother, who was now standing between the river, was blown away by the river. And before she could catch her 2-year-old, the 2-year-old had also been swept away by the river, taken away by the river. She was shocked. She didn't even realize what happened just now. When when she came out of the river, she was just shocked. She didn't know how to react. Her husband was dead. Her little baby had been taken away by the eagle and killed and probably eaten. And her little 2-year old was also taken away by the river. And they were all dead. They were all dead. She cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. She cried. All she could do was cry, 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 cry. She does not remember how, but then she started walking towards her house, towards her parents' house. It was not like she was planning to go there. It's just that maybe her legs decided to just take her towards that place. When she reached the city where her parents lived, that gave her a little bit of comfort. She felt that she had reached some place that she knew. Then she started walking towards her parents' house. When she reached her parents' house, she saw that the beautiful, grand house had now become ruins. In just 2 years, it had become ruins. And there was no one there. The door was ajar open. The house was in a ruined state. She asked the people over there that what happened? What happened to the couple that lived here? Okay. So someone replied, well, they had a terrible daughter. She ran away with the servant. The father was too embarrassed. The mother was too shocked. The mother died of her grief. And the father was too embarrassed, too pained, and he killed himself. Now, Parachara felt that the world had just ended, as if the entire universe had broken down all upon her. She felt the weight of the whole universe crushing down upon her. She just wanted to be dead at that time. She didn't know what just happened to her. She tore her clothes. She started tearing her hair. She started laughing. She started crying. She started yelling. She was crazy. She was crazy at that moment. She had lost herself. She had lost her mind. She had lost her sanity. And everyone started distancing themselves from her because here there was this naked, ugly, dirty woman shouting and yelling, walking down the roads. She was walking and wandering and wandering and wandering and wandering. She reached a monastery. She was trying to enter the monastery, and some people tried to stop her because she was no monk, because she was completely disturbed and they didn't want her to come inside the monastery with her disturbance. They did not want her to bring her disturbance into the monastery. They tried to stop her. She was yelling, she was crying, she was laughing, she was dirty, she was naked, she was broken from inside. She did not understand anything that other people said. At that time, the Buddha was within the monastery. The Buddha asked his followers to let her in. The Buddha has divine vision. The Buddha always has divine vision. The Buddha could see through her pain. The Buddha could see the happenings of her current life. The Buddha knew what had happened in her previous lives. The Buddha asked the other women monk in the monastery to bathe Parachara, to give her food, to give her some place to rest. They bathed her, gave her food, gave her clothes, gave her a place to rest. She was calm now. For the first time, and she does not remember how much time, she was now finally calm in the presence of the Buddha. She had many questions. She didn't feel like asking any. Her mind was disturbed, but her mouth was just not willing to open because she blamed herself for everything that had happened. Her parents were dead because of her. Her sons were dead because of her. Her husband was dead because of her. She blamed herself. She didn't know what to ask the Buddha. The Buddha told her that it is time for you to now become a monk and spend the rest of your days in introspection and meditation. Parachara agreed immediately, and she became a monk. Her head was shaven. She wore the clothes of the monks. She started living in the monastery. And she spent her days thinking, contemplating, sometimes crying, but on many occasions just quiet. One such day, when she was about to enter her little kutir or hut where she lived, she decided that before entering the kutir, she should wash her feet. So when she washed her feet, she saw 3 streams of water flow down, washing her feet, go down into the soil, and then get absorbed within the soil. 3 streams of water. One stream went for a little while and then stopped. Second stream of water went a little longer and then stopped and was absorbed in the soil. And the third stream of water went further longer and was absorbed by the soil. And then she was thinking, and it just came to her at that time that this is what life is like. Like the first stream of water that was absorbed into the soil as soon as she poured water. That was like her baby who had come on this planet and then left this planet within a very short period of time. Then the second stream of water that went a little further ahead was like her first child, who was there for a little while longer. He gave her happiness. He demanded some things from her. But then finally, he went back to earth. He left this world of the living. And then there are the other people, like the third stream of water, who go really, really far or live longer, like her husband or her parents. But they also must one day leave this planet and die. And she will also one day leave this planet and die. And instantly, Parachara became a Sotabana, according to Buddhism, a stream enterer at that moment. From being mentally disturbed, she had now become a stream enterer, all because of meditation and introspection. So, during the COVID phase, I worked with a lot of people who lost their near and dear ones. They lost their near and dear ones to Corona, but they still kept blaming themselves. They felt that maybe they could have done something differently. I asked them, was there something that you could have done differently? Was there something at that point that you could have done and you did not do? They did not have an answer. They said that no, there wasn't, but what if there was? And they continued feeling guilty. We often blame ourselves for our losses. Why do we blame ourselves for our losses? I think we blame ourselves for our losses because we want to feel in control. We want to know that there was something that we could have done to stop this loss. And if there was something that we could have done to stop this loss, then the world still makes sense. Then there is a good chance that next time we will take care of that thing and we will not have that loss. But reality is like this, my friend. There are going to be losses. Because that's what the rule of nature is. There are going to be losses. Value things while they are with you. Value people while they are with you. Because nothing in this planet is really permanent. Nothing that we have is really permanent. Our happiness is not permanent, but our suffering is also not permanent. Developing acceptance of the nature of things reduces our suffering. Developing acceptance of the nature of things decreases our illusionary attachment to the good things. And when our illusionary attachment to the good things decrease, we become fearless. So I hope you've liked the story. Would you like to take a few minutes to meditate with me? Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Close your eyes and exhale. Just be with your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Focus on your breath. Just mindfully inhaling and release from your mouth. Repeat in your mind. Relax. Inhale Release from your mouth. Repeat in your mind. Relax. Inhale. Release from your mouth. Repeat in your mind. Relax. Just mindfully be aware of your breathing. Be aware of the impact of the breathing on your body. There may be thoughts coming to you. Just gently bring your focus back to your breathing. Wandering of the mind is just normal. Stretch your lips and hold a slight smile on your face. Become aware of the gradual change in your mood, change of sensations within your body. Watch your body rise and fall. Once again, your body rises and falls. Try to focus on the many sounds around you. Sounds coming from far away. Can you hear the chirping of the birds? Or the vehicles on the road outside your house? Gently come back to your breath. Focus on the temperature of the breath. Focus on the sensations the breath creates around your nostrils. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Join your palms and rub your palms together. You can use this mindfulness practice, mindfulness simple breathing, for meditation and introspection. Place your palms on your face. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you liked this story today and taking a few moments of contemplation, introspection, and meditation. Thank you so much for being kind and being connected. See you again on this very channel. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for your valuable time.